Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live!
And we're back!
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes, this guy's David, and it is definitely a technical difficulty kind of day. Technical difficulty kind of...
You guys, I've got to set this up for you because you've got a lot of talking to do here in the next couple of minutes. But when we dialed in, we were that close to going, Thursday night's okay, right? We can do this on a Thursday night because of West's favorite piece of equipment all time, his MacBook Pro. Tell us what you did this afternoon, Wes, and then tell us what they did.
Well, so I made the mistake, of updating my OS, my operating system, shortly before the stream. I was like, I'm going to update. It'll be great. It won't be asking me for updates and no pings and no ding-dongs popping up during live stream. And I thought it'd make perfect sense. So I did this.
Hashtag no ding-dongs.
What I didn't realize, however, that is what she said. I didn't realize that in updating the OS, it would actually remove all of the items from my desktop, all the files on my computer, send them to the cloud, update the OS, and then immediately afterward, try and re-download all of these things, when a lot of the files that I have are gigantic, huge video files, just gigabytes and gigabytes of files. And I didn't realize that would happen. So, unfortunately, you see how choppy my video is. Hopefully my audio sounds fine. But my video is so choppy because the CPU in my computer is going ape crap crazy, trying to keep up with all this stuff. I even turned off the cloud sync on the computer, restarted, and it's still super choppy because it's trying to do all this stuff, trying to catch up from the operating system update. So super annoyed with Apple right now. Steve Jobs, I hope you're happy. You're screwing up our live stream.
That was his plan the whole entire time.
It was. Oh, I know it was. He's living in the metaverse right now, laughing his digital butt off because we're suffering right now. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, great job, Steven.
So
tell us what you got over there to drink. Tell us what you got over there.
Today's a fun beer day. So I'm actually starting out. This is a tough one to start out with, by the way. This is called Chocolate Attack from... Who makes this? I don't even know who makes this. From Hidden Springs Ale Works in Tampa, Florida, of all places. I didn't know this was in Florida. But it is Imperial Stout aged in Henry McKenna bourbon barrels with chocolate. And bourbon barrel aged stout is a tough drink anyway. And especially to start out with, it's fun. It's also 12% alcohol, so starting out good. I may not drink these the whole night, so I do have a couple other stouts.
So what you're saying is, in about 40-minute mark of our podcast, you're not going to care that Apple completely took all the stuff off your hard drive, stored it over here somewhere, wiped your hard drive out, and is now going doo-doo-doo during the time when you need to be uploading and downloading.
Right.
Because you got to download in my feed and then upload out the twin feed out to you. Is it stream.io?
To Restream, yes. So yeah,
Restream.
For those of you who don't
Restream.io.
yeah, for those who don't know how this works, how this stream works, since David and I are remote, it's bringing in. I have a piece of software here called Ecamm Live. What's happening is the Ecamm is bringing in my HD video. At the same time, I have Skype running, which is bringing in David's video. Ecamm is compiling these things with all the fun graphics, all that kind of great stuff. It's then sending this compiled HD video to Restream, which will then distribute to Facebook, YouTube, wherever we want to send it. However, in the meantime, my laptop is doing all the heavy lifting because it's taking in video from multiple sources, compiling it, sending it out in full def. At the same time, it's also trying to do all this random stuff because of the software updates. So it's gonna be an interesting show.
It's gonna be fun. Hopefully we make it through it without too much. I'm still here sharing. I have decided on my end, I actually decided to switch it up some. So I have just Skype running over here on the MacBook Pro on its own dedicated Wi-Fi, which is what carries the stream.
Yeah.
And then over here, completely separately on completely different Wi-Fi, I have the iPad Pro running the clickies and clackies and all the invites. That's the technical term, just in case you guys didn't know that. For all the invites and the sharing and tracking comments and everything, so that I've got two completely separate systems. Now, if any of us actually needs two separate systems, it's best over there.
So you need to do that.
Well,
I think I might get a new laptop soon, specifically for this. So we'll see.
So what's your backup? What's your backup hooch over there?
My backup hooch. I guess I do have some backup hooch. Let's see. Sticking with the stout theme, I have Imperial Stout aged on Mexican Custapec coffee beans. Aged on coffee beans. So coffee.
There we go. Today, Junior.
Something like that. And another Imperial Stout aged with bourbon. Another bourbon barrel. I might hold off on that. I do have a couple of these left. I got a couple of these left from last week, which is the Seventh Son IPA with coffee. Got kind of a coffee theme going on today, but these were nice. These are actually surprisingly light.
Very cool.
What do you
cool. Well, I live in New York now, right? So I'm actually in Rochester, New York tonight. And I like Rochester. I've only been here a couple times, but it's really nice. But yesterday, I got the email. So let's back
I'm
this
jealous,
up.
By the way. I'm super jealous.
Tuesday, I got the email saying, hey, if you are still interested in being a Stein Master at the Hofbrau House in Buffalo, New York, you have to reply within 24 hours of this email.
These things go fast.
Well, naturally, I'm like, is a bear crap in the woods? I'm in. Boom. Got it back. Yesterday, they emailed me back and says, all right, you have 2 weeks with this email from the date of this email to get over here and get signed up, or it goes away and you got to wait at the bottom of the rung next time. So I almost got in my car right then and drove the 2.5-ish hours from Syracuse over to Buffalo to get it. But I was like, I got to be in Rochester tonight, so I can be here for tomorrow for some business. So I'm like, crap, I got a customer over there. I'll run over and say hi to the customer. Then I'll pop by Hofbrau House. So I'm drinking freshly brewed. Not with cocoa beans or coffee beans or whatever the heck it is you're drinking there. This is Dunkelweizen. There we go. Dunkelweizen.
I love the Dunkelweizen. So good.
So I went ahead and grabbed a classic Dunkel too while I was there because why not?
Who doesn't love it?
So I got the Dunkelweizen here. Now, I've not had good luck with opening cans and bottles of beer on this podcast. They tend to everywhere. So, and this one's been setting again for a while. The most movement it's had is just me sitting here doing that, which should not be enough.
We'll see.
But There is a downside. There's a downside
Okay.
to this travel. This
That's your beer cup for the day.
little. This is my beer cup for
That's
tonight.
hilarious.
Because so everybody knows me, and or that does know me knows, don't serve my beer in a frosty cold mug. Don't do that. And I put a post up on Facebook the other day and said, "Ha, here's somebody else scientifically backing it up." But also from my good uncle Jeffrey, from way back when I was young, I remember him telling me, doesn't matter what you're drinking, if you pour it into a glass first, we better. Now, I didn't understand it at the time exactly what all that meant, but I'd rather have that carbonation off-gassing out here than in my stomach, especially with a Weizen beer.
Yep, so, makes sense.
Here we go. We're going to get this going. And I don't know how, this right here, you can't do this in the metaverse. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Don't have fresh brewed Dunkelweizen in the metaverse.
I have opened a can of beer without it spraying all over the place on Facebook. I'm happy. That's a step in the right direction.
Drink your delicious
I can't show you
out of that tiny plastic cup.
Yeah, I'm literally going to be sitting here, pour, drink, pour.
It's basically a shot glass for you.
It's basically it should be a shot glass for me. It's a shot glass for anybody. Look at that little thing. It's like one of those little cups you have in the bathroom where you put the stuff in. Yeah, one of the mouth rinsing, the mouthwash cups. So, man, they have this thing. It's filled up to the top. Very filled up to the top. Oh, there we go. This is going to be foam. It's going to be foam, especially on this first couple pours, just because I'm not going to be able to have – there's no room for it in that small little cup. I almost bought another Stein while I was over there. I was like, well, crap. Then I have to travel with it.
Well, you
do.
Call room service. Have them bring you like a pitcher, which is basically the same size as a –
Yeah, a standard cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been to a couple places that they'll serve pitchers of beer, but they don't have. I mean, they give you cups like this. So I'm like, and they look at the table and there's like 4 or 5 of us, and I order a pitcher of beer. It's like, well, how many cups you want? Like, none.
That's one serving.
None. That's literally you're talking about 64 ounces of beer. That's just a little bit. It's fine. Just bring it.
Right. That's hilarious.
Just bring it. It'll be all right. So that's what we're drinking tonight. We went over your lovely adventures.
Everybody watching and listening, hopefully at least the audio sounds good. So we'll see. I haven't complained yet, so thank goodness. But a couple weeks ago, I made a prediction that was right, that Facebook was going to change their name the very next day. It wasn't really a prediction because they said they were going to. They didn't say what they were going to change it to.
Yeah.
But Zuckerberg decided to change the name to.
We were talking about the metaverse.
Yeah.
During that episode as well, talking about how that rolls in and the data they're collecting and the way they're using it, and the way they're doing their cloud computing. Well, not only say quantum computing, but the cloud computing that they're doing. And the overlay for the AR on it. We went into all that, and every bit of it came to fruition the next day.
We know what we're talking about. Look, whoever doubts us.
Well, you know what you're talking about. I'm like, you can't drink beer in the metaverse, I'm out.
Exactly. You can keep the real universe. So, there you go. Now you need to re-pour. It'll just be that all night.
Yep, got to re-pour. So, what you guys, welcome to the Underdog Journey. Watch Dave pour beer.
Matt Hamlin says, hey, guys. Hey, Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
So,
thanks for joining us, bud.
So, with that prediction of Facebook changing the name to Meta, Mark Zuckerberg came out with some videos that are interesting, to say the least. So, I think maybe we should take a look at some of these. Let's take a look at one of them.
Okay, is this actually going to be clips of Mark Zuckerberg, or are you getting ready to play a scene out of Ready Player One?
Well, you decide. It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Excellent.
Let's see what we got here.
I believe the metaverse is the next chapter for the internet. And it's the next chapter for our company, too.
By the way, there is nothing that Mark Zuckerberg can do to not look like an android. He looks like He looks like Commander Data from Star Trek.
So I've been thinking a lot about what this means for our company and who we are as we embark on this journey. We're a company that focuses on connecting people. While most other tech companies focus on how people interact with technology, we focus on building technology so people can interact with each other. One of the reasons I started Facebook was that at the time you could use the internet to find almost anything. Information, news, movies, music, shopping, except for the thing that matters most of all, people. Today, we're seen as a social media company. But in our DNA, we're a company that builds technology to connect people. And the metaverse is the next frontier, just like social networking was when we got started.
Also, it's important to remember that all of this is coming out after a lot of controversy about what Facebook is doing with your data. So
yeah.
Let's just keep that in mind, too.
I always reference back to the hearings. Wait.
Yeah. You going to sip your beer awkwardly?
Okay. So back to that hearing, we talk about the controversy on what they're doing with your data. And, I don't remember which senator it was, but she's sitting there going, well, I read that you collect like 12 or 18 points of data. And anybody who understands it, like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about like marketing points, like demographic, geographic, psychographic data? But that's not the question they asked. So there was a point where she was like, well, I read somewhere, and what she really meant to say was,
right.
I read on Facebook that Facebook collects these many points of data. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, please do it. Please do it, man, because I will laugh. I've been laughing at it since, and she didn't actually say it. But had she done it, man, that'd be like if Mr. Android here was to drop the word synergy on us. Like, all right.
I just want to know if he buys his all black long sleeve tees at the same place that Jobs bought his black turtlenecks.
His turtlenecks? Yeah. I mean, he's a turtleneck shy of Steve Jobs there.
He might actually look like a turtleneck, though. So,
Facebook was born in a specific time.
I'm here taking a moment just look over there.
Place, a college campus, the web. It was what we could build at the time to put people back into our experience of technology. But connecting people was always much bigger. From way earlier on, I remember sitting in middle school classes, sketching in my notebooks, ideas that I wanted to code when I got home. And even though I didn't have the skill or technology to build it yet, it was always clear that the dream was to feel present with the people we care about. Isn't that the ultimate promise of technology? To be together with anyone, to be able to teleport
to their house?
What was that?
I said, mean like getting in a car and going to their house, or meeting them at the pub, or Lord forbid you actually know somebody.
Oh my gosh!
So I have become the grumpy old man. I'm okay with it. I embrace it. I would much rather be out interacting with people I don't particularly like than setting online with people I do like. Even, I mean, that actual human interaction is just, it's not replaceable in my world.
Right. Well, you always.
I mean, how much better is our podcast when we're sitting side by side?
Oh, so much better. So much better. And you always say that you're actually not a fan of work from home because you like the face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
It's interesting to see so many companies jumping into this metaverse space.
Yeah. Now, I think it'd be very, very cool to walk down the street with those glasses. Remember, we were looking at the Apple glasses a couple weeks ago. On that day, on the thing we were talking about, this upcoming announcement. And, I think that'd be kind of cool, that kind of interaction.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I would much rather have it to, that's cool to walk down the street and see these things, all that. I mean, my phone can do it now. So it's not a huge leap. Excuse me. So it's not a huge leap to move to a pair of glasses, except, just micro sizing the technology. But for me, it's the, sitting on my desk and not having to have a computer
Right.
at all. Not a hidden computer or excellent cable management. Just literally sit down and I look down, there's my keyboard, and I can type on it.
And
And I look up, that's my monitors.
yeah. And so that's
over
part of
there's
this
my
whole
calendar.
thing too. So you're gonna have a couple sides of this. You're gonna have the AR side. You're gonna have the VR side. And really, so augmented reality is where you see like the real world and digital things popping up around
Yeah.
you. I really
Yeah,
feel
the
like that's going to be a lot more tangible moving forward than VR, which it will have its place. But let's see what else Lieutenant Commander Zuckerberg has to say.
And to create and experience anything. Yet here we are in 2021, and our devices are still designed around apps, not people. The experiences we're allowed to build and use are more tightly controlled than ever. And high taxes on creative new ideas are stifling. This is not the way that we are meant to.
What? Okay, we can't go into that.
Should I replay that part?
No. Yeah, go back over that. Go back over that. Just this last few seconds there. After he's talking about high taxes on ideas being stifling, because that's
controlled
very
than ever.
important.
And high taxes on creative new ideas are stifling. This is not the way that we are meant to use technology.
Well, so this actually leads to a very interesting point. So, a lot of companies are getting into VR, getting into the idea of the metaverse, right? You got, obviously the big, computer companies. You got Apple and
Apple and Microsoft being the biggest
are
two.
jumping into the whole VR realm. You even have smaller companies like app companies like Niantic who make Pokemon Go, talking about the metaverse and how it relates into the real world and that sort of thing. And all of these companies,
to be honest, the Pokemon Go reference is probably the one that's most relatable to a lot of people.
Right.
Because I've seen a lot of people play that. Now, I don't play it myself. I looked at it the first day it came out, and I've had it on my phone, and I'm like, all right. And that was it. I deleted it probably the next day. I'm like, I'm not into this, but I know tons of people that get it, and it's got a overlay of the real world. An AR overlay onto the real world.
Right.
So it's a real good example of not where we're going,
but
because it's going to be a lot more sophisticated than that. But it gives you an idea.
Well, so the point is though, is all these other companies, even smaller companies, have actual products related to the metaverse, and all of these other companies have technology that leads into other products they can sell you. Well, Facebook, for the longest time, has Facebook. They have a social media platform that's tied to this device, this cell phone here. And yeah, granted, they're making the majority of their money selling your data to third parties. They don't want you to know that. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons they changed their name. We're going to talk about branding here in a little bit. But if they can actually get the lead on other products that they can sell you in the future, when you have to buy headsets and you have to buy, haptic feedback gloves and bodysuits, so you can actually feel what's happening around you, and you can feel when you pick up a cup in virtual reality, and you can feel when somebody, gives you
a
thing. Or we're not going to go into the pornographic space, but you get the idea.
We're not going to go into what we're going to call the Matt Harmon experience.
But the point is
I don't know if he's watching tonight, but I had to get that one in there.
But the point is, Facebook. He's right that Facebook, as it was really hindered in its ability to grow within this new technology of the metaverse, which is why I really feel like they're becoming the lead. And here's an interesting thing, and I was going to touch on this at the end, but here's a very interesting thing. The technology for I keep saying multiverse, for the metaverse to exist as he's going to explain it to you, doesn't exist yet. It might not exist for another 10 to 15 years, but it's very close and it's on the way. However, if a company can get the head start and put out the idea of brand, again, we're going to talk about branding here in a little bit, but brand themselves as the leader in this area very early on, then guess what? When the technology is available, who are you going to go to? You're going to go to the company that you've known and trusted. They even named themselves after this technology. So let's keep that in mind as we're moving forward here.
The metaverse gives us an opportunity to change that if we build it well. But it's going to take all of us, creators, developers, companies of all sizes. Together, we can finally put people at the center of our technology and deliver an experience where we are present with each other. Together, we can create a more open platform with more ways to discover experiences and more interoperability between them. And together, we can unlock a massively bigger creative economy. I know the internet story isn't straightforward. Every chapter means new voices and new ideas, and yes, there will be challenges and risks and disruption of established interests. But there will also be opportunities and benefits that we can't even imagine yet. For connection, for creation, for learning, and joy. We'll all need to work together from the beginning to bring the best possible version of this future to life. A future where, with just a pair of glasses, you will be able to step beyond the physical world and into the kinds of experiences.
Oh, by the way, I was on a different computer and I saved a link to a company I wish I had set myself. I've been very busy. But there's a company that's raising money right now for an AR technology where the instead of like a normal like headset you'd wear, it comes in two parts. It comes in a set of contact lenses and a set of glasses. Now the glasses are the parts that have the all the heads-up display stuff that pops up. However, unless you have the contact lenses, you can't see the stuff popping up because the contact lenses only allow a certain type of polarized light. So only you, with your specific contact lenses, can see what's happening through these glasses. Super cool stuff. There's a lot of companies really working hard on this stuff.
There's a, not to go too far off topic, but there's a company, there's a YouTube video you can watch, and I'll look it up one of these days, and I'll put a link somewhere, and we'll show it. But that shows you how to take the plane in like an LCD display and separate them and put it back together. And then if you don't have that plane on, when you look at it, you see a white screen. And then you cut these out, this screen, and you have the glasses, so you can actually mold it into your glasses. So you put the glasses on, it looks just normal. But if you put glasses on, and this is something you can do at home, the idea of tying them individually to a contact lens is actually, we're not far from that already.
Right.
But it would be an interesting thing to do. Security and privacy would be, for me at work. I mean, I get up out of my chair at my home office in my own home, Windows L key, and I lock my computer just to go to the restroom, just to go grab a snack, which is conveniently for a fat guy right around, or go up with my wife, who's also conveniently located around the corner. If I want to go annoy her or let the dog out or something, I still lock the computer because it's what you're trained to do. This would just be another layer of protection.
Oh, that's exactly it too. So think about all the extra ways you're going to need to protect your data moving forward. So I'm actually going to play a little bit of a different video here, where he actually gives kind of a demo of what he envisions this metaverse to look like. So let's take a look at this.
We're going to talk about the metaverse. I want to share what we imagine is possible. The experiences you'll have, the creative economy we'll all build, and the technology that needs to be invented, as well as how we're going to all do this together.
You're here!
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive.
Like a shop.
Some call it skill.
Keep talking.
An embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse.
Pause.
Yeah, I got some comments too.
Yeah, I got some comments. Now, just here's my opening comment. What happened just before our podcast tonight? There was an update.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sitting here watching these people play ping pong, and I'm like, yeah, but
We can barely get video to play without it being super choppy. And we're expected to live inside this giant virtual reality Ready Player One world.
Ready Player One.
So we do actually have a live studio audience with us today. Hey!
And I have some.
All right, it's my favorite peoples. It's my favorite internet peoples.
To go on the wrong sides.
Look, you have a baby. That's very
Who do we got there?
What's her name?
Birthday baby.
Is it birthday baby? You got that for your birthday?
It's party girl.
Party girl. She called it party girl on her birthday.
Party girl.
How are you
So
doing?
is somebody's birthday nearby?
No, not for a little while. So
Not for a little while. I was like, I remember them having one. I know they're actually pretty close together as far as their actual dates.
yeah, they're both getting pretty old now. So they're almost over the hill.
Get a job.
I know it's time to go out and get a job. Go do something with your lives. He's playing with my beer can holder. So
Yeah.
whatever keeps him entertained.
All right, let's go.
There you go. See, he has one too, Locke.
Yes.
Mine has 6 coats.
How many does his have?
Yes, I've only got 3.
Let's go.
All right, guys.
3. And you could probably carve a demon spider out of something like that.
He probably will. I'm sure. All right. See you guys.
We've been asking to go to bed since dinner, so.
Yeah.
Good night, Kirsten.
Good night, Dave.
And we're back.
And we're back. So let's get back to the metaverse. So we can barely stream a video without it being choppy, and we're supposed to live in this virtual reality world of the metaverse without any problems.
Could you let's just they were playing ping pong. Let's just take the ping pong, shall we?
Right.
Whack, the ball goes here. Ding ding, whack, and then you hit it again. And it's like stops out in the middle and it starts doing the little dot something in the middle. And you got to watch a 35-second commercial.
Oh yeah.
And then as soon as the commercial's over, the ball's like.
Yeah. Every time you hit the ball, you got to watch an ad.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Your subscription on the free trial just ran out. If you want to continue, pay $1.99 a month. Now that $1.99 doesn't sound like much.
Yeah.
Until you start doing the compounding numbers on that.
Right.
And how many of us are going to remember to cancel $1.99 a month? It's going to go, and we're all going to look at it and go, "Dang, we should have canceled that. We'll cancel that tonight when we get home." Well, guess what? Ain't happening.
Well, that's so in games and apps that's called microtransactions. And look, that will be how the new internet, the metaverse, will be funded through microtransactions. It won't be funded through there will be some giant purchases you can make, but most of it's going to be funded through microtransactions. And look, this leads into a whole different conversation about NFTs. If you're going to be living in a virtual reality world, guess what? Now you have all your digital artwork.
Yep. Now you gotta spot to hang all those potatoes or rocks or whatever they called them last. The last time we looked, was it rocks? There were rocks, right?
But again, I can still right click on literally any of them and copy them. And
yes.
But
yes. And if you were to host your own server with this stuff, you could literally run a decode on something, pull the bulk of the code, a little bit of changes, and you could have whatever. It's all out there.
Well,
I mean, for the love of me, Microsoft source code was leaked about 6 years ago, and I mean, the world went crazy over that fact. It's all out there. It's those people that I like to talk to, and they go, "Oh, I don't do any baking online. I don't do any of that stuff because I'm afraid somebody will steal my identity." Well, I'm sorry, it's already there, regardless of whether you use it or not.
It's all
just because you're not using it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that the scammer in India is not going to use it.
It's already there. However, I do still envision within our lifetimes, everybody's identity won't be tied to a social security number. It's going to be tied to a blockchain number. It's going to be tied to a specific part of a blockchain, which, look, nothing's unhackable, but if it's on the blockchain, it's going to be significantly more difficult to hack. And that's what I envision for that. But as far as this metaverse thing goes, here's one thing that you won't see in this video. The majority of the metaverse isn't this really cool virtual reality world that you live in. The majority of it is data. your data, my data, flying all over the place. Data about what you're doing all day, data about where you spend your time, data about how you're spending your money, your cryptocurrencies that you're are actively transacting throughout your time in the metaverse.
Speaking of which, I have finally came out of the hole that I dug myself in with Dogecoin. I sent you that text message earlier this week. I was like, "Hey, I've recovered all of my Dogecoin losses finally."
Oh, I'm letting mine ride. I'm letting it ride. I think it's going to the moon. I think you're wrong.
I will applaud you and wave to you from the terrestrial planet of Earth when you are riding the Dogecoin rocket that is to the moon.
To the moon.
But I've actually, I'll tell you, Nvidia's kicking butt.
Yeah.
Nvidia's doing well. Tesla has its bumps. I mean, it's a good upward trend. I mean, it's not a bad investment. But Nvidia, they just split earlier this year. I'm betting they're going to do it again. Maybe even as early as I say maybe Q2 2022.
Look, if we are truly all going to be living in the metaverse, we're all going to need really good graphic processors to be able to handle all of this amazing graphics we're going to be living in very soon, apparently. So let's see what else is in store for us in the metaverse.
Who we got?
By the way, why do we all have to be these really weird, cartoony, like emoji characters running around? Why can't I just look like me? I don't know.
I'm not going to select the West Carnahan emoji character for my avatar. Probably not going to select the Fat Dave character.
Everything we do online today, connecting socially, entertainment, games, work, is going to be more natural and vivid. Whoa, all right, that's a little too realistic.
Now, fencing, no, but playing chess. If I get set across from somebody I do it now, wearing some headsets, and I'm betting that that technology's out there, so I could play chess against somebody. I'm terrible at chess. I mean, people would crush me, but I like to play. I don't mind losing 100 games in a row. I'm just fine with it. I have no strategy. It's just I move characters and hope for the best. But I would do that. That'd be kind of cool. But fencing and a couple other things are showing in there. I don't know how you would have a real person and a fake person. I don't understand how that dynamic is going to work, because just like the balance on a lightsaber.
Yeah.
The math doesn't work out of how it would move through the air the way they do in the movie. Not to get it too nerdy, because we can completely geek out on that. Both of us can in the Star Wars world. But as I come forward with, let's say we're fencing, and I come through with a thrust, and you parry away. Well, my blade's still going straight. It's not going to take my arm.
Well, so this is the real thing. There are companies right now, and I was reading an article. I didn't save the name of the company. I can't remember who it was. There are companies right now working on haptic feedback suits, so you can actually feel when something hits you. If you get hit or bumped or poked by a fencing foil, you can feel it.
It's called a foil.
What's that?
Now, and that would be called a touch, by the way.
Foiled again.
So if you touch me, I would know it, right?
I have no interest in touching you digitally or otherwise, David.
So, forget where we're going with that. I got distracted by the fear of Wes touching me. But anyway,
you're not the first.
Back at it. Let's see what else they got for us.
Now this is more my style. We believe.
By the way, Zuckerberg should never be allowed to act in front of a camera ever.
The metaverse will be the successor to the mobile internet. And you're going to be able to do almost anything you can imagine. All right, perfect.
Hey, boy.
Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Mark. Hi, Mark. What's up, Mark?
This place is amazing.
So this is cool, because this is like an updated Teams meeting. Now,
I had a Teams meeting where somebody didn't freeze.
That doesn't happen. There's no such thing as a Teams meeting where somebody doesn't make a mistake somewhere. But so I actually just today, and you were talking about Zuckerberg should never be allowed to act in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I was unable to make one of the many meetings that I have to go to.
Very important.
And excuse me. So I got there almost as soon as it ended. They had it loaded up for us to be able to watch. So that's when I started my drive over from Syracuse to Buffalo. And I threw it on and was listening to it. And the whole time I'm like, please, dear God, do not let this person have any interaction whatsoever with our customers.
Right.
There are certain people that, they can interact in their circles. And I bet in his circle, he is just as smooth as a round rock. That there's no jaggedness to him. That's just he's in his element doing this.
Right.
But when you take them away from the pebbles that are the same shape, those rough edges come across. And in this case, this goes into kind of some business management stuff because we do like to talk business from time to time, as is a business podcast. From a business management standpoint, just because somebody's good at something, let's say coding or accounts receivable or accounting, bookkeeping, those items like that, they're really good at their job. That does not necessarily mean that it's okay to put them in a customer facing scenario, because most likely those people run black, white, and that's it. Yes. This is how it goes. This is what it does. The end. Whereas you'll have other people, your marketing team, your sales team, damn well better be your management team, understand that, you have your core. This is the rule. This is the confines to which you operate in 99% of the time. You don't have to look around. This is what we do. But you're empowered to make decisions that go outside of that and say, you know what, in this scenario, I'm going to allow this event to happen. So while I believe that Mark Zuckerberg is a freaking genius, and I would probably get along just fine with him in most scenarios, I really think they need to pick somebody else to be the face of that company.
Right. He needs to be. So, I don't know if you've seen the series yet on HBO, Silicon Valley.
No, but it's something for me to watch.
So it's from Mike Judge. It's from the same guy who did Office Space. So picture
some buttheads.
So picture Office Space only.
Yeah. So wait a minute. There's two takes here. One of us knows Mike Judge from Office Space. The other knows him from Beavis and Butthead.
Well, which was infinitely more funny?
Beavis and Butthead.
You're wrong. You're wrong every time. You're wrong.
I've never watched that. You know what? I
You've
can't
never
say
watched
that
Office
with
Space.
empirical evidence because I've actually never watched The Office.
No, not The Office. Office Space.
Oh, Office Space. Yeah, you took my statement.
The Office. No. Office Space.
Office Space. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? All right. Depends on what day of the week.
Right.
I'll give you a pretty balanced act.
Okay.
Beavis and Butthead or The Office.
I'm telling you. Watch Silicon Valley. It's basically Office Space, only modern in like the tech world. I'm telling you, it explains how alien people like this exist in the world.
So what you're saying is, well, we're not saying that Mark Zuckerberg's an alien. We're just saying that, well, Mark Zuckerberg
I'm not saying
is
it's
an
alien, but it's aliens.
I'm not saying,
but it's aliens.
It's aliens. We're not saying he's an alien. We're just saying he's a lizard person from the center of the earth.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. He could be a Silurian. Sure, let's...
Feeling of presence. This is the defining quality of the metaverse. You're going to really feel like you're there with other people. You'll see their facial expressions, you'll see their body language, maybe figure out if they're actually holding a winning hand. All the subtle ways that we communicate that today's technology can't quite deliver.
I knew you were bluffing.
Avatars will be as common as profile pictures today, but instead of a static image, they're going to be living 3D representations of you. Beyond avatars, there is your home space. Your home is your personal space from which you...
Again, everybody out there, if you haven't seen it, go out and watch Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Yes, definitely watch Ready Player One.
So it's funny.
It's
Here,
not as good as the book. It's not as good as the book. So just don't even come at us with that because we'll ignore it. Actually, we ignore a lot of stuff. But
we do.
if you come at us and tell us, well, it's just nothing. I like the book. I get it. You know what movie is as good as the book? Right? Come on.
Well, so here's the funny thing. The term metaverse, right? The term metaverse actually came about from a 1992. It's not even that old a term. It came out in 1992 in a book called Snow Crash. That was the first time that the term metaverse was coined. And it was basically a virtual reality world like this that people would escape into to live the life they wanted to lead because mega corporations, Meta, ruled the world and hyperinflation took over. So people were living in complete and total squalor. So they basically lived out the life they wanted to lead in the metaverse. And that is so that dystopian future, that's literally how Facebook, now Meta, got their name. That's hilarious. And here's another funny thing. So I'm asking you to watch we're asking you to watch Ready Player One, which was based on a book, which was inspired by another book that actually coined the phrase metaverse. That whole description right there is the definition of meta, if ever I've heard it. So, super, super weird world we live in right now. But watch Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It's funny. The main character lives in Columbus, Ohio, where apparently everybody lives in shipping containers stacked on top of each other. So we have that to look forward to.
So just on a quick note here, because I switched over from running the MacBook as the interaction with the guests, it lets me now know at least certain people are watching. So I know that Matt Hamlin was in here watching, said, hey guys, Noah Leffingwell was in here. Laura L. Lyons Black said hello. So hi, Mom. Mick Walcott's in here watching, and Pam Leffingwell was watching. So
all right,
we have some people out there that are tuned in. It doesn't give us a lot of information, and it's not in real time. So separating them up. So there's another business tip for you guys. If you're doing a podcast or something, split it up. We've talked about it a couple times already tonight. Wes is thinking about picking up another computer to split the load on his system, as it were. And I've done it, and to be honest, I don't need to, but because I've got the what is this? I've got the M1.
Yeah,
the M1, but I got the M1 that's in both freaking. I got the iPad's got an M1 and my MacBooks. They both got the same processor, so the capabilities are pretty good. But just splitting those up gave me extra features over here on the mobile, or call it the mobile platform on the iPad.
Yeah.
That I don't get to interact with you guys on this side over here. So, something to think about when you're trying to set it up. There's nothing wrong with the podcast. And next week we're going to find this out. That runs the podcast off of the phone.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So here's the funny thing. Okay. So the metaverse is supposed to be this virtual reality mashup between AR, VR, real world data. You're supposed to be able to take, digital objects into the real world and take real world objects into the digital world. And it's supposed to blur those lines, right? And, we can barely run
I've heard that song before.
We can barely run a Teams meeting without it crashing. Or right now, we're having a hard time on a brand new, pretty expensive laptop running a live stream. And we're expected to live in this digital world powered by nothing but a pair of glasses. So here's what we need to consider. So the things that are really hindering us from moving into this area are basically three parts of this Venn diagram you need to consider. There is the technology is one circle. So you get the hardware on one circle, the software on another circle, and the consumer desire in the third circle. The consumer desire is there. That's there. The only two we're waiting on is the hardware and the software, the technology part. And it's getting there. It's getting much faster. We have 5G, and I put 5G in quotes because it's not quite what everybody thinks it is. It's not been truthfully advertised, I'll say. I'm not sure we're going to get to the advertising part of the show tonight. But David, do you want to explain what 5G is currently versus what was advertised to us?
No, I'm going to go back in time and tell you about the difference between 3G and 4G.
Okay.
Or, more importantly, 4G and 4G LTE, which is long-term evolution.
Ooh, LTE. Sounds technology-ish.
Yes. Well, yes, it is technology-based. So I've got two phones here, right? This phone actually got absolutely fed up with Verizon's service, and I took my whole family to T-Mobile. Well, I paid the extra money because it's more expensive to be Verizon, but I didn't pay money for it. But the customer service is so incredibly bad. I took the whole thing as but we're going to pretend that this one was Verizon.
Okay.
Guy over here was AT&T.
Okay.
This is exactly Verizon. So when the 3G and 4G came out, and we're having, we'll translate it to other stuff happening right now. When it came out, Verizon took their time, went through, installed the code and everything, and it took them longer to launch LTE. So what AT&T did at the time was call it 4G. Couldn't call it LTE because it wasn't LTE. And they basically used the dual band to give it a dual band, and threw a little 4G logo up there where the LTE is supposed to be. So they were advertising the first fast out there.
Yeah.
But we ran a test and actually ran actual tests on these things. It was faster than a single antenna for 3G phones, but it was basically using dual 3G bands to make it work. That Verizon LTE program, which is a completely separate technology, completely separate registered trademark and everything from a completely different company. It's wholly as that. So like Bluetooth actually is a company. In case you guys don't know that.
People didn't realize that Bluetooth is actually it's a company. There's a company that owns Bluetooth.
It's a company.
We need to do a show on that. Companies that you didn't know exist. Here's another thing. There are
that you use every day.
There are families that generations ago bought up the rights to use certain radio wave bandwidths that big telecom companies, Verizon, AT&T, lease out from these private entities. And these are some of the most wealthy people that you've never heard of before. Because they're making all their money because they just happen to own the bandwidth.
Yeah, that'd be a good show. Hey, here are some companies you don't know exist that you use every single day.
Yeah.
But we'll go back to this.
Yeah, let's get on
they launch it. So when you get the LTE part of it, the LTE just far outstrips the actual bandwidth capabilities of dual MIMO antennas on 3G. So then AT&T up and running, and it kind of became apples to apples. But the marketing end of it, they didn't push that. It was the first 4G. It wasn't actually a fourth generation technology. It was just a dual third gen technology. So now there actually is two different versions of 5G. So this guy right here runs the 5G. This one right here doesn't tell me what it's on, but I'm guessing it's on the 5G. Actually, no, iPhones, they're always behind the times, so I don't know exactly what it can do.
It's unfortunate, but Jobs passed away. It's true. They're just not. They're several generations behind because they just don't feel the need to innovate anymore.
Yeah. So, and it wasn't a smack on it. It's just that I don't know what time. I don't know what version of phone. I think it's just the latest one that actually is running 5G. And there's two flavors of 5G. There's we're not going to use the technical terms. There's the big wave, and there's the nano wave. The big wave covers broad area. It's much like 4G LTE, and it is faster. It's a little more stable, but it's safe. Again, the official term for it, but that's the one where the signal strength is just not very far, but it is ridiculously fast if you get inside of it. So if you actually get as 5G, and again, we're going to make up your nanowave,
Right.
that you are able to get speeds in the on my this is a Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, blah blah blah, whatever. I've been able to go over 800 megasecond with this device, and it is crazy. So we will need speeds like that, and we will need a backbone infrastructure that can handle the absolute. Now, you think, or you thought back in the day when you were downloading your foreign movies, that getting 20 megasecond was just the bee's knees, or even, you know what, I'm going back for 5 megasecond.
Yeah.
5 megasecond, because that was kind of the first step up, or even 1 meg, because we came from 56K. That was the move. That was with a 56K fax modem to the to the network, and you got 1 megasecond. 1 megasecond is hundreds of times faster. It's insane how fast that is compared to a 56K fax modem. So downloading a movie on your torrent with 20 meg a second downloads, that amount of data is absolutely nothing to what our networks are going to have to handle on this metaverse.
100%.
It is the 5G, and I hate to say it because I literally just said, I walked away from Verizon, but they're one of the people who are doing this right and setting these things up, and that when they turn on areas, it's able to support that space. So if you actually find yourself inside one of these things, you know what? Play that ping pong game. You're going to be just fine. But just think about the physics, the math, the equations, the data processing that it takes to play something as simple as ping pong.
And that's why I've said for a long time now, so we're going to get really nerdy here real quick. The first company that is built around an infrastructure based on quantum cloud computing, that's where I put my money. Because here's the thing. The processors that are in your phones are the fastest that have ever existed, essentially.
Yeah.
You are holding in your pocket essentially a supercomputer. But this will be compared to quantum computers. And here's what's going to happen. You're still going to have super fast processors in your phones and in your watches and in your glasses. But they're going to be there to compile the data that is actually processed and spit out from the cloud through quantum computing. What you're going to have is you're going to have a Google or a Facebook, a Meta, or a Microsoft with processing hubs where all the heavy lifting is done. And what happens is you're doing stuff over here. All the data from your actions are going to be processed in the cloud, and then the results of that are going to be sent back to you. And what needs to happen is the infrastructure of maybe not even a 5G, maybe a 6G, to actually handle the outgoing and the inbound data from that quantum cloud computing. But I'm telling you, the first company that has reliable, openly available quantum cloud computing capability is going to win this, because that much processing power is what's going to be needed for this metaverse. So that's where I'm putting.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I got distracted here because I actually looked at last year. It's possibly outdated by this point. There's a company that you might have their thermostat on your wall. You might have their fan. Honeywell. Honeywell has, if not the highest, one of the highest performing, not caliber, not but the highest performing quantum computer. And the interaction and some of the stuff that they're doing is crazy. So it's not just what the typical people think of when like even me, when you think of tech companies, you think, of course everybody, my first step is Microsoft. The next down is Meta, or Facebook.
Right.
Then beneath that, I have data carriers, and then probably 4 or 5. I'm going to go with Apple.
Ooh, out.
Well, I mean, it's just
Look, I'm annoyed with them right now. Too. I get it.
capabilities. They are product driven. They're not. They've not announced that they're data driven. It seems like they're working towards that same goal.
They're reaction.
So that's what I'm
very
saying.
reactionary, not proactive.
Exactly. They don't have, hey guys, this is where we're going. This is very important. This is actually something, because we really love to drop as many as possible as we can for you guys to help out. Because this is probably, man, it might be number one in my book.
Okay.
It actually might be number one. You need to have from the core out, from the top down. Everybody needs to be pulling towards the same goal.
So, what a lot of companies might call a North Star.
Yes, yeah. A lot of people for the business buzzwords there. When we have synergy,
We get a drink.
and we allow the bandwidth to circle back and ping you. We call that the North Star. But when you allow, there's a term that's saying all else is equal. That all else being equal.
I hate that term because it doesn't actually mean anything.
It means absolutely it never happens. There's all else being equal.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yes. But here's how it ties in. When you, as a business owner or manager or something, allow decisions to be made inside of your books or your verticals in business, and they're in silos, so they're not looking at what's here, and here. They're not pulling towards the North Star. All they have is their Star, and this person may be in charge of this, and that person. So basically, what you have is 4 North Stars, and when you have 4 North Stars, how many North Stars do you actually have?
0. You know what this reminds me of?
0.
This reminds me of 2 companies, unfortunately. 2 very beloved companies, Apple and who else does this remind you of?
I don't know. I started thinking about drinking this Dunkel.
I was going to say Disney.
Disney. Oh, yes. So, yeah, absolutely. So that's actually, that story's gotten better. I honestly thought I was, amazing them and really burning them. I watched tons of videos stuff and a lot of fun on them. And I've actually taken it easy on them. Their stock, because I actually own Disney.
They're taking some heat.
Every time I look at my app here, I'm like, damn it, Disney.
How long do you think Bob Paycheck is going to last in that role?
I don't think so. So let's look here. I don't think that's fine. So there we go. You guys don't need to see the numbers. All you guys need to see is the graph. Okay. So this is 1 year. We're talking about the time when some announcements made. There was some excitement. So we got a pretty good peak, and then you guys look at Bob Chapek's time there.
Yeah.
That is not good.
No.
That graph is going the wrong. Way.
It shows a slow decline and a stagnation. Ooh, that's rough.
This is if you actually start doing it and his stuff is going. If you go to 1 month, you can see, and at
what is
the end over here, all the way to the far side. This is Disney over 1 month.
What is that little spike there? What came out? What's that little spike there at the end? What came out there at the sharp increase?
That's a sharp decrease.
No, the increase.
Right. All the increase.
Yeah, what is that?
I go back and look at the day. I'd have to go back and look at the day, but they gained over $6 on that 24 to 48 hour period.
Because typically you'll see that.
I have to go back. That was game number 4, so they probably released their quarter earnings.
Yeah, I was going to say
that would typically be a guess.
You'll see that around earnings calls.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. What they're doing is making money. The problem is it sustainable, which is something we got to do. So back to there is again, the North Star idea, using the business poster, the North Star idea, the common goal for your company, but making sure that these different groups or these different lines of your business, it could be customer service, credit analysis, could be what is it, your specialty, West?
Marketing?
Well, so marketing and
Treats. Dog treats. Dog treats.
No, dog treats. And in your business, every business is a dog treat division. No, the customer programs and retention. And things like that.
Loyalty. Yeah, I do. I love loyalty stuff.
Yeah.
It ties pretty heavily into.
Yeah. So if you have these people, if they have a goal that all meets up here at one spot, and everybody's pulling in the same direction, it's going to have everybody pull in the same direction.
Right.
Have a whole idea behind it. But B, you're going to have this feeling of cohesion that otherwise you don't have.
Right.
And you're going to have this guy over here, and he may be thinking, "Oh, this was my goal because the guy at the top of his silo, this is what we want to do." And they're doing great. They're doing great. But they're fully disconnected from the other books of business, and sadly, that means they're fully disconnected from the customer.
Absolutely. And disconnection from the customer. So,
not a good recipe.
So look, we didn't get to the second part of our show today, which is the difference between advertising, marketing, sales, and branding. Yep. And all four of those are on a nice big Venn diagram, and where they all fit together makes perfect sense. And as far as that connection to the customer, that North Star where everybody's on the same page, I mentioned a minute ago that customer loyalty plays heavily into marketing. And a lot of people don't realize that, but it's absolutely true, because marketing is all about that communication. Marketing is all about communication with your customer. So, look, we didn't talk about it today. We're going to have to touch on it next week. What's that?
Yeah, definitely. This is right. I mean, I love to ask questions. I know that Wes is, he's really into. How many impression touches does it take on a customer to make an impression?
7. You need a minimum. Well, so look, it's different with everybody. Everybody's a little different, but typically you want at least 7 impressions. You want at least 7 touches. I know we're a little weird about that right now. So 7 touches if you have a fencing foil to get really good brand recognition. And part of that comes down to marketing and advertising. Where those two things come together, advertising is all about, hey, look at me, I'm over here. Versus marketing, hey, let's have a conversation. Now, look, if you can combine the two and say advertising gets you your touches, gets you your brand recognition, and marketing can then take that and lead into the conversation that can then lead into a sale, guess what? You know what they call that? What do they call that, David? They call that a funnel.
I don't know what word.
You don't see my screen. They call that a funnel.
No, wait, I'm over here. I've been reading up on.
Usually with the wrong screen. They call that. So
no, you've got your shared with me, so I can't see you.
I'm sharing the wrong screen. Sorry about
that. Wait. We're gonna back to it again.
All right. So look, if you have your advertising, if you got your advertising, which says, "Hey, come look at me over here." Oh, hey, what's going on? No, I'm sharing the wrong screen. There we go. Okay. If you got your advertising that says, "Hey, come look at me over here," and then you have your marketing taking off of that and saying, "Let's have a conversation," which then leads into your sales that says, "Hey, we're having a conversation. We think you'd be great for this product over here." What do you call that? What do you call this?
I call that a funnel.
That's a funnel, is what that is. A feed.
Which shows Dave that I did. I the feedy heedy in a business development plan. My boss, and he, it was F everything else. This is how you do it.
Oh.
You can use the.
I'm not sure how you completely messed up our screen that way.
What you've got here? We got three screens.
What is happening?
Screens? I don't know. There's some chick in the background now. What is going on? Oh no, this is This is
We
at,
are look. I'm
my
just gonna put it right
screen
there because we are all over the place right now. Somehow, I'm not sure what's going
on, on my screen over here. I'm still seeing on the Skype call. You're still. What are you doing over
I
here?
don't know. I don't
You're
know what's
still
happening.
sharing. You're still sharing your desktop. You're still sharing your desktop over on Skype.
Well,
That's the one you need to go fix.
No. Here's the thing. So you're seeing one thing, Skype is seeing one thing, and Ecamm is seeing another thing. And when I switch back, it's
good.
I lost our picture-in-picture to our main screen. It's a whole thing. But look,
Yes,
the
because
point
some of
is,
the things
my
that
computer
were
somehow knows
some of
that
the
our show
things
is
that-
over.
Yeah, some of the things that are out there on the cloud with West's computer are our overlays, our countdown timers, the graying out. I mean, those are
Right.
some large files
So all
that
of
will take in the rest of the night to download.
Yeah, so everybody watching now, all of these nice little backgrounds and overlays and videos that would overlay exist in the cloud somewhere right now, which is leading to a lot of these weird technical difficulties we're having right now. But next week, next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern on Facebook and YouTube, I promise I will have this all fixed. And holy moly, it's a whole thing.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I don't think we're going to get to the marketing advertising stuff next week.
Next week?
The reason for that is
what's happening next week?
I'm going to be at Disney. I'm going to be in Disney next week.
Oh, boy. So we're going to have to skip a week? Is that what you're telling me?
Somebody's got to give Bob Paycheck money.
Bob Paycheck needs his paycheck. So are you not going to be on next week?
No. So we actually scheduled the vacation based upon, this specific day based upon the podcast. So Wednesdays we're doing a touring around, goofing off day at the other hotels. There's some things we want to check out, and we're going to go to Disney Springs, which is for those of you who miss it, that's called Downtown Disney back in the day. And we scheduled our dinner for after the podcast. So I will be at Downtown Disney or Disney Springs, whatever you want to call it. I think they call it Disney Springs. For the podcast, I'll have my earbud in. I'll have my trusty iPhone or maybe my Samsung over there, depending on. Actually, no, I will not have this because it's the work phone, and I'm not taking it with me. So it'll be on the Samsung over there, and we're gonna make it work. So I'll be on. It'll be interesting. I might get a little tripod just to click this sucker right in so we can watch it and then break it down, put it in my pockets, and move on with life.
All right. Well, we will have a fun show next week, and we will try not to keep you from your beautiful family.
Yes, they look a lot better than I do.
Well, it's not, you set a low bar, David.
Yeah. I was going to argue with you, but then really, I don't have.
Look, I can relate. I can relate. My kids look nothing like me, thank God. So look. Anyway, it's been a long show. It's been fun. If you get a chance, check out the videos on the metaverse. Go watch Ready Player One and hope that we're not living in that world in a couple of years. But if Zuckerberg has his way, who knows? He is one of the invading alien forces. In the meantime, I've been Wes. This guy's been Dave.
I've been Dave.
And we will see you next week. All right. What's up? Hang on. Then we're back. We're live.
We're back?
We're back.
Oh, we're back. All right. No, because we're going to miss it because tomorrow is Veterans Day. We want to send out a thank you to all those who have served and, for everything that you guys have done to allow us the freedom to be able to do something like this, from not talking in German, except when I'm at the beer house. Thanks for all that you have done and all you continue to do.
Absolutely. If you have a veteran in your life, give them a call, say thank you. They will absolutely appreciate it. It is 100%
give them a hug.
What these guys and ladies have done for us. And
to be honest, run up, give them a big old kiss on the lips, and say Dave said hi.
They'll know exactly who you're talking about.
They'll know what you're talking about. It'll be fine. But again, thank you all, and we'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week.
Physically infatuated with the in-between, the ups, the downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood.